Hey man, I know a while ago I recorded a video for you about how I was managing, like how I was choosing what thing to do and prioritising, and I've kind of updated my system since we chatted about that, so I just thought I'd share it with you in case you're interested. So I used to just obviously dump everything into one list and basically just write it down in one big long list, separated into these 4 columns, but what I found was it was basically distracting me because I was looking at every single thing I had on my to-do list every time I opened this list, and I was just getting totally overwhelmed with all the stuff on my list. So basically what I did was I deleted absolutely everything. Well, I didn't delete it, I moved it. And what I'm doing instead now is, instead of just writing them down into like a notes, I'm kind of being a bit more organised about it, and what I'm doing instead is I'm adding them as tasks in ClickUp. And I'm basically just, I took all of the stuff that was written down in my list and I just dumped it into like individual tasks. So there's a task for everything, no matter how small it is, even if it's literally a one-liner, like sort drill bits. I just get it out of my head, I dump it into a task. Some of them don't even have any writing in the task. Some of them have, a little bit of info about it. And in terms of the setup, they have a status, which is either, not started, active, follow-up, or done, basically. And they have a list, the same 4 lists as I had before. So, they've got a most important thing, follow-up admin, life admin. It kind of follows the same pattern. So they've got most important thing, life, admin, and they've got another one for writing. And then sort them by priority. And then what I do is I basically just set up 2 this is all of my to-dos that I haven't completed it, but there's going to be hundreds in here eventually. This is basically a dump zone, so whenever I get a thought of something I have to do, I just dump it into whatever list it's most suitable for. Is it admin for the business, something that I have to do but doesn't really grow the business? Is it something that grows the business, in which case it goes into most important thing? If it grows the business or makes it easier, that is, or saves the amount of time I spend in the business, it goes into most important thing. Or if it's something to do with kind of life admin, I put it into this list. So say something occurs to me, no matter how big or small it is, I'll just dump it in here basically like that. Now here's a beautiful bit. So if the status, if it's not basically active, I only ever have a maximum of 10 items which are active at any one time, and ideally only really like 2 under the most important list, maybe like 5 under the life admin list, and ideally maybe like another 2 or 3 under the admin list. In an ideal world, of course, it's going to vary, but ideally you can't really handle any more than 10 to-dos in your head at any one time. So if you're not actively working on it right now, or don't plan to work on it this week, basically just set it back to to-do. And it means that I've got 2 views set up. One of them is active stuff. This is stuff that I'm actually actively going to do this week. And it's just a very simple list. You can see there's only 8 items in it. The other list that I've got is called follow-up. So this is things that I'm actively working on, but I can't progress right now. So, if you haven't heard back from a client on something and you can't progress until you've heard from them, you're basically holding that knowledge in your head constantly in a loop, along with all the other things that are popping into your head, and it can get quite overwhelming. Well, for someone like me that likes to hold everything in their head, it can as well. So what I do instead is I basically create this follow-up list where it filters by the status, is follow-up, and it will basically just show all the tasks that have the status follow-up. So say that I say that I'm waiting on one of my team finishing a project or finishing a status before they can proceed with this task. I would just set it to follow-up status and then basically sit on it. So that's it. It also works on my mobile very well as well. So on my mobile, I have ClickUp, and I don't know how well you can see this, but basically I just have the 3 views. So it's most important things, life admin, and business admin, and that's it. It's just a list of the current tasks that I have open, and obviously if I then set one of these on the screen to active, this will update on my phone in real time. So you can see there's now 2 tasks there. Straight away it updates basically. I've found this is the simplest system to avoid myself getting overwhelmed. If I go into this list, I've got all of the stuff that I've got on my mind or on my plate. Most of it will just sit on the to-do status almost forever until I activate it in my head. and then it goes into, it comes into this view automatically, or I set it to follow up, and it means that I've got 2 lists. Very simple. I don't need to keep everything in my head. I only work on what's in those statuses at the time. And then the second part of it is on my schedule. We've covered this before, but on my schedule I have set aside time blocks to work on these lists. So you'll see that during 10 a.m. to 11:30, I'm working on my MET list every day. So basically what I do is when it hits 10 o'clock, I open up my list and I say, right, what am I going to be working on today? Set up Trade, Sales Club, Google accounts. So all I'm going to do is basically on my schedule, that is my written schedule, in my MET slot, I'm going to say, write down, set up Trade, Sales Club, Google accounts. And that's going to be, a 20-minute job that I do during my task block, and I'll just do that for every day. Ideally at the start of the week I write down one thing that I want to do in each day. Then I'll go down to my admin list. So again I'll refer to my admin list and I'll write in the things I want to do in terms of admin for that week. If there's not anything, I guarantee something will come up during the week, so it's not a problem. Then I've got the life admin list. Again, I'm going to go to my list and I'm just going to write in one thing that I want to do each day in my life admin list, and I do it on my paper schedule along the slot. And it means that every day I've got a clear plan of what I'm working on, and I'm just chipping away at stuff in the list every day. Of course, it does mean that at the start of the week, normally on a Monday, normally at about 11 a.m, just after my catch up with my team, I normally triage my to-do list. So I'll basically come back to my to-do list, I'll go through it all, have a look at it at a glance and see, right, what do I want to set to active and achieve this week? What do I want to take off the list and allow myself to let go of because I've not done it or it's not important? What have I started but not finished and it's to be set to follow up? And I'll basically do that every week, and then after I've done that, I'll then go back to my schedule and write in my schedule for the week. So hopefully that helps give a bit of clarity on how I manage my to-dos.